Welcome, everybody, to the Dong Report, where I give out my favorite MLB home run picks for the day. Overall, I've had a ton of success doing this on the season as a whole, but unfortunately, yesterday was not one of those days. I gave out 7 picks on this YouTube channel. I got 1 of those to cash, so 6 of them lost. Ended the day down 1.2 units. Overall, that brings our total profit to 23.05 units, so just above 23 units, with an ROI of 8.34%. So ROI just below 10% at 8.34 is still very good, but unfortunately, we've been in a little bit of a rough patch recently. Hopefully, we can get that going today. I have 6 picks for you guys today. Real quick, before we get into it, while you're here, would appreciate it if you could make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are not already. And then, of course, if you could just click the like button and comment on the video as well. All that stuff helps me out a ton. And I also want to mention that I do have a membership option for my YouTube channel as well. So if you want to, if you're interested in becoming a Jedi and training, just go ahead and check that out. It's the very first link in the description of the video, as well as the pinned comment. I have 2 options. One is for $1 a month. Another one is for $5 a month. So again, if you're interested, check that out. But without further ado, let's get into these picks. As I mentioned, I have 6 for you guys today. Starting off, we got a pick in the Mets versus Astros game. We are taking Yainer Diaz to hit a home run. That is at plus 540 odds at FanDuel. So overall, today is a very good day for home runs to be hit in terms of weather. One of the better weather days that you'll see for home runs to be hit. And this game is not the best, but it's also definitely a positive weather game as well. It's definitely one of them. So Diaz himself is a young player for the Astros. So if you look at his counting stats, doesn't look great. He's only got 5 home runs on the year. But one thing that you need to keep in mind is he's only become an everyday player pretty much starting in June with the injury to Yordan Alvarez. And he's been playing quite well as he has become an everyday player for the Astros. He's batting .274, which obviously isn't incredible, but it's respectable. He's got 2 home runs in his last 10 games, so not a ton of power in that span. But if you look at his advanced stats, you can kind of understand that the power is going to come. He's got an ISO percentage, an ISO rate, isolated power rate of 21.7%. Now, according to Fangraphs, anything above 20% is considered great. So he has a great ISO percentage. If you look at his barrel rate, this is an absolutely astounding barrel rate of 14.3%. Now, if he had enough at-bats to qualify, that would rank him 3rd in the entire MLB for barrel rate percentage, which is just insane. And that is anything above 9 is considered excellent. So he's all the way at 14.3% again, which is just amazing. So that's pretty much it for Diaz. In terms of the pitching matchup, the Mets have Scherzer on the mound. The name value, the name brand is scary, but he's not quite as good this year as he's been in his past. So not really that scary of a matchup. So I love Diaz to go yard. I think he's got a great opportunity to do so as our first pick. Next up, this is in the Royals versus Tigers game. We're taking Melendez to hit a home run plus 560 odds at FanDuel. So Melendez, if you look at his stats, isn't really having that great of a year, but I will say somehow I've had pretty good luck backing him. So I took him to hit a home run 2 days ago and he cashed for us. Now he's only got 6 on the year, but he has cashed for us a couple times. So it's just kind of funny that I seem to have good luck whenever I do pick him. He only has 1 home run in his last 10 games. And again, that was just 2 days ago. Now this game is one of the rare games that doesn't have great weather for home runs to be hit, but it's also got terrible pitchers, so I wouldn't be surprised if a ton of runs were scored in this game. So Melendez definitely going to have a lot of opportunities to rake. Pitching for the Tigers is Reese Olson. Now, to give him credit, he's only had 3 starts on the year, and he just got shelled in his last one. His first 2 starts were good, and he's a young pitcher, so these things happen, so maybe he'll get it back together tonight. But regardless, I like Melendez to hit a dong for us tonight as our second pick. Next up, this is in the Cardinals versus Nationals game. We're taking Nolan Arenado to hit a home run. That is at plus 420 odds at Caesars. Now, this is another very juicy weather game. Again, it's not the best. We will get into the best, but it is a very juicy weather game. And our Arenado is our best bet for this game. We all know that Arenado is capable of going on ridiculous heaters. We all remember about a month ago when he hit a home run in 5 straight games. So when he gets hot, he gets insanely hot. Looking at his last 10 games, I would not say that he's in the middle of a hot streak. He's got 4 home runs in his last 10 games, but he literally hit 2 in the same game yesterday. So I love backing him on days like this where he has shown pop, especially on days where we have really good weather that's conducive for home runs to be hit. Looking at his advanced stats, his ISO rate is the lowest it's been as a member of the Cardinals, but it's still a considered great number at 21.7%, which again, as we remember, is considered great. And then pitching for the Nationals is admittedly one of their better pitchers in Josiah Gray, but we will put our faith in Arenado to cash a dong for us tonight as our third pick. And now, next up in the Rockies versus Reds game, and just to let you guys know, I'm going to have 4 picks total in this game. But the first one in the Rockies versus Reds game, we are taking Jonathan India to hit a home run. That is at plus 525 odds at Caesars. So as I mentioned, I'm going to have 4 in this game. This is honestly one of the best weather games or best home run games in general that we're going to have all year. It's incredible. The weather is the best that I can remember for home runs to be hit at Reds Stadium, which is, we all know that's a hitter's park, but today specifically, incredibly good weather for home runs to be hit. And then the pitching matchup is just amazing for our purposes as well. Not amazing pitchers, horrible pitchers, amazing for home runs to be hit. So starting with Jonathan India, he is a player for the Reds. So let's talk about the pitcher for the Rockies, which is Austin Gomber. He might be the most home run pitcher in the entire year, the pitcher that you want to face the most when you have batters to hit a home run. He has a ridiculous home run to fly ball ratio of 20%. That means literally 20% of his fly balls turn into home runs. Now, a pitcher for the Rockies, obviously, those stats are going to be inflated, but this is going to be an incredible weather game, so that helps us, which is just absurd. The fact that 20% of his fly balls turn into home runs is crazy. India himself is on an absolute heater. We love to see that. He's got a home run in back-to-back games, and he's got a home run in 3 of his last 4. So he will have a great opportunity to keep that streak up alive today. Hopefully cashing this pick for us today. Next up, this is a player for the Rockies. We're taking Yainer Diaz to hit a home run at plus 460 odds at Caesars. So a heavy Caesars day today. Now, the last 3 players are going to be on the Rockies, starting with Diaz. So let's talk about the Reds pitcher. Also very bad. Brandon Williamson will be pitching for the Reds. Now, he's not quite as bad as Gomber. His home run to fly ball ratio isn't quite that bad, but it's still a very bad 15.2%. That's still very bad. Now, 20% is absurd. 15.2% is still pretty bad. Last year, it was 16.3%, so it's not as though he's just having a bad year. Unfortunately, he might just be a bad pitcher. His home run per 9 innings rate is 1.99, which is another just ridiculously bad number. It means he allows 2 home runs for every 9 innings pitched, which is crazy. As for Diaz, his power numbers aren't great. He's got 7 home runs on the year, and he's only hit 1 in his last 10 games. But we are putting our faith in him tonight as well to cash a dong for us. Now, 2 picks left. Again, this is another player for the Rockies. We are taking Ryan McMahon to hit a home run at plus 550 odds at Caesars. Now, obviously, all of the pitching stuff that I just mentioned still applies to McMahon. So we can look into McMahon in a little more depth. Similar to Arenado, he also hit 2 home runs yesterday. On the year as a whole, he's got 12, and his advanced stats are phenomenal. He's got an ISO rate of 23.9%. Now, anything above 20%, I mentioned, is considered great. This is according to FanGraphs. Anything that is 25% and above is considered excellent, and he's at 23.9, so he's right around that number. His barrel rate is also a very good 8.2%. I'm honestly not sure why India and McMahon's odds are so much higher than Diaz's at plus 460. We're getting McMahon at 550, but I will take advantage of it. I like it. So he is our second to last pick of the evening. And last one, again, a player on the Rockies. We are taking Nolan Jones to hit a home run. That is at plus 600 odds at Caesars. The last pick of the evening, Nolan Jones is having a very good year at the plate overall. Now, if you just look at his counting stats, it doesn't look that impressive, right? You see that he's only got 4 home runs on the year, but there's a couple things to keep in mind. Number one, he's batting .320, so he is hitting the ball very well. But more importantly, he's only got 75 at-bats on the season because he was just called up on May 26th. So 4 home runs in that span isn't horrible, and there's reason to think that he's going to start hitting even more home runs when you look at his advanced stats. Very, very good. ISO rate, 24%, the highest of all the players we are backing today, just below that excellent mark. Barrel rate, an absolutely ridiculous 14.9%. So if you remember with Yainer Diaz, his barrel rate was 14.3%, which would be considered third in the MLB if he had enough at-bats to qualify. Well, Nolan Jones is above him at 14.9%. Now, obviously, the sample size, the stats with a small sample size such as this are always going to be dramatic one way or another. But the fact that he is performing so well, according to all of these advanced analytics, is great for us. So we love it. We will back him as our last pick of the evening. So as I mentioned, 6 picks for you guys to lock in today. Very, very confident that we're going to have an awesome day today. If you're tailing, comment and let me know. As I mentioned, if you're not tailing or if there's a player that you like that I did not pick, comment and let me know as well. Other than that, remember to like the video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, check out the membership options if you're interested in becoming a Jedi in training. Thanks for watching and have a good one.